Darshak, Assalamu alaikum. With me, Donna. She is a senior citizen in here, and now she will talk with us her life. Are you willing to say something with our YouTube channel, Sakib Canada?
Absolutely.
Okay, Donna.
Yep.
So, floor is yours.
Okay. My name is Donna Holinsky. I'm 68 years old, but I took early retirement at 60. I've lived a few places. I grew up in Winnipeg in the West End, and then I got married and moved out to Darlingford, Manitoba, which is close to Morden. I worked at the Morden Hospital for 23 years. I have 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren. My husband and I divorced, but he passed away just a few years after we divorced, maybe 10 years later. He was a farmer, so that was quite interesting, going from the city to the farm, but I was up to the task. I worked as a nurse. First I was an LPN. The years I was out at Morden, I was a licensed practical nurse, and worked a lot, but maybe I never got full time because there was a lot of nurses at that time. So
Donna, but now we are seeing that a lot of nurses, they are doing 16 hours per day work. So that time you work only part time?
Yeah, I just worked part-time. I went towards the after about 18 years or so, then I was starting to get, maybe 5 days in a week or whatever, 4 days. Lots of weekends, that's the other thing I worked, and lots of evening shifts.
Okay, so now, so you at first you worked as a nurse and that was part-time. Then
I came to Winnipeg, that was in 1996.
1996.
Yeah, and I
Long
got
time
my RN. So that was the 2-year last diploma class. So I got the 2-year diploma class, and then we were still grandfathered in because now the nursing standard is baccalaureate nursing, the 3 or 4 year course. So I just did the 2-year, and then I worked at Children's for 5 years on the Children's Cancer Ward, which was very interesting place to work, and children have a lot to teach you, so it was a really good place to work. And then I got called one day from one of the counselors at Red River College who had been one of my counselors in the Access program, because I did some stuff through them. And she called me and offered me a job, and it's quite interesting that I probably wouldn't have taken that job or come for the interview, except that I had been having dreams all that winter that I was going to teach. I was going to teach young women. This was a recurring theme in my dreams, and I never would have thought that I would be teaching nursing students. I thought maybe something in the, counseling kind of professions, working with young girls, because that's a passion of mine, that, women are strong and stand up for themselves and, make their lives better for themselves than women used to have, right? So, that's what I thought I would teach. Anyway, so then I got phoned by Darlene and came and had the interview, and I got the job, and the rest you could say is history, but it took me probably 2 or 3 years to adapt to working, especially in the classroom. Although then I did have to take the, the certificate in adult education.
Okay.
So I did the 10 courses, but I never did sort of graduate from that. They said I was missing a course, and the teacher that I had for that at the college, he sadly passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, so we couldn't, he had sort of all of my interests at heart, and hadn't written it down anywhere, like how I was going to navigate getting my certificate. But anyway, they never threw me out. And then in 2014, I decided to retire. My knees were getting quite sore already. It was harder and harder to get up and down the stairs and what have you. Nothing like now, I can tell you. But anyway, so then I decided I would retire. And that's what I did. When I retired, I bought a house out here at Winnipeg Beach, and I lived here for 6 years. My children and grandchildren just loved coming out here. So that was nice. And then 3 years ago, I moved back to Winnipeg just before the pandemic. Yeah.
So now you live in alone at home?
I live alone, yeah.
So how frequent your child visit you or your granddaughter?
Well, actually, not at all.
Last when you meet with them?
2 years ago.
2 years
Yeah.
ago. So
we
now
had sort of a falling out, and I refused to be disrespected anymore. So, I just said, you go your way. When you're ready to treat me differently, then we'll get back together.
so they didn't treat you properly.
Well, you know what? They treated me how their dad treated me.
Okay, yeah,
You know.
it's a part of life, you know.
Yeah, and how my family of origin treated. So I was raised, especially under patriarchy, because women didn't have any, time to themselves or time to grow until the 60s, really.
Yeah.
And, I was a child of the 60s, like in my teens or whatever. So, I learned to say, I don't like that treatment. I don't want that treatment. So, I kind of walked away from it, right? So, and then I joined a different church called Center for Spiritual Living, which was a real good thing for me to go there, and I really grew in with their teachings. So, I'm very content with my life. Yeah, I have lots of loving people around me.
So দর্শক শুনলেন যে ডোনার কথা, এখন সে একা রয়েছে, তার পরিবার পরিজন ছাড়া এখন সে ধর্মকর্ম করে জীবনযাপন করে। তো এই হচ্ছে ক্যানাডিয়ান লাইফ, ক্যানাডিয়ান স্টাইল, নো ওয়ান উইথ হার নাও শি ইজ অ্যালোন। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ ডোনা, আপনাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।
I'm alone, but I'm not lonely.
Lonely, yeah,
No,
you are
I'm not.
here and we are.
And
you are
I
with
have
some-
wonderful people around
You have
me.
wonderful people and
Yeah.
me also. Yeah.
Yes, you're very lucky. And I draw people to me like this all the
Wow.
time. I even had a lady the other day at the doctor, or I had gone to see my doctor, and I came out by where the parking machine was.
Wow.
And she looked at me and she said, "You're sunshine." So she could see my aura. Yeah. And
Thank you so much, Donna.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good day.
And you have a good day, for sure.